And now I'll go ahead and just put the vestibule on. And see, here's a case, this is almost what I was afraid of. When you look inside of that, you can see not only the white cardboard, but you can also see the tab, and I am going to have to trim a little bit of this tab around the arc. I'll do that with the X-Acto blade when that's dried really solid. I'm not hugely worried about it. I think what I'll probably end up doing is when this is nearing completion to just take some, dark brown or black paint and paint the inside of that, or maybe tan to match the stone. Likewise, I didn't realize till I was in the process of gluing it in, getting any kind of gravel or scenery inside of there is going to be a little bit of a trick, but again, that's something I'll deal with later. One side is having a little bit of trouble adhering. The thing about cardboard is kind of like paper, it does tend to curl. And what I'm noticing on this, even if it's only a very, very slight curl, it does affect how it goes together. Again, though, everything will be compensated for at the brick level. Including, hopefully that'll lock this in. I didn't want to put any tabs inside because it's so narrow and it will be visible, but the brickwork will lock that into place. Okay, next up I'm going to fold and glue the bell tower. It forms a perfect square, so I'll just need to put, looks like probably 1, 2, 3 tabs along that end to get it to hold together. Okay, so I'll let those tabs set before I close the whole thing off. I'm finding it useful to have something like a pencil to kind of reach in. You do need to apply some pressure to these tabs to get them to really adhere properly. I shouldn't say properly, tightly would be a better word. I mean, the glue will dry. You can almost use white glue as a filler. So it's going to dry however you push it into place. Anyway, we've got the bell tower folded up, and I'm going to set that aside to make sure it's good and dry. I'll set that aside while I put this end wall into place. And you can see what I've already done. I've adhered tabs to the end. That'll be glued to here and to here. Right now I'm just dry fitting it so I make sure I understand how it goes in. This is a complicated piece. In fact, the most complicated on this part of the building. You can see we have another one of these zigzag corners that's going to get challenging. So what I'm going to do, I think, is actually glue this one in stages. Make sure one part is good and anchored down. And this way I'm not trying to hold everything into position at once. I'll put tabs on the bottom, probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we'll glue it. I'll glue it gradually. This is where you have to be careful about interference when everything folds up. I don't know how well you can see this. I actually do have a case where these two tabs are going to slightly hit each other. Not a big deal. I'm just going to take the scissors and clip the ends. And I'll make sure that's set up really well before I start gluing it down. Okay, and I had to clip one more. I'd missed that fold for some reason when I was putting the tabs on. What I'm going to do, I'm going to glue the end of the wall to here, and I'm going to glue down these two sides. It seems pretty easy to get a 90-degree gluing all at once. And then after this is good and set up, I'll come back and glue that little zigzag portion. And I am trying to be neat and wipe up the glue. It's just one less thing for the bricks and other stuff to interfere with later. This edge here, this is the first imprecision I found. This does jut out a little bit. You probably can't see it, but probably juts out about 2 millimeters beyond the line that it was set for. It's nothing I did wrong. This wall, despite this angle not totally working, this wall is where it needs to be along the line. This juts out a little further. It's just going to push the bricks out a little further. It's not a big deal. These are more representative models, more so than precise scale models. So if you go online and you actually Google the church, again, the name is Iglesias de Santa Cecilia. Hopefully after enough of these videos I'm going to get used to saying that. You'll see that the real life church is obviously a lot more intricate. But I still think for what these are, they're pretty detailed. Okay, and to attach this last wall, because these tabs are already sitting on the base, I'm just going to apply the glue directly inside here and then bring the tabs into it. After I pause to get my cat out of some trouble. This is one of the challenges for me of modeling with cats, is you literally have to guard everything. Danny absconded with this spare piece of cardboard. And if I let her keep going, she would have chewed up the rest of my raw material for strips I'll need later. So I'll have to put that where I can guard it better. Okay, so that worked out pretty well. That went into place a little easier than I expected. This is a little bit off of a 90-degree. It's just the size of the cardboard, but not a big deal. All that's left to do now is to put this bell tower in place. And I mean, it looks like here you can see this surface glues to this surface. I'm debating whether I need a tab for that. I mean, I'm thinking I probably don't, but you do have some flex in getting this out of square. So I think I'll put a very small tab here, just on the front end, which will be here, and then glue that side there. Make sure I got the front face on that. I do. That'll have to set for a minute. Alright, let's glue this into place. You don't want to go too heavy on the glue or it'll ooze out, but too light and it's not going to adhere as well, so just something you get the feel of. This That's where that pencil really comes in handy to push that front tab solidly into the ground. Okay, steps 1 and 2 are complete. And I gotta say, I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. It actually went a little bit quicker than I expected. The cardboard and the cuts and the scores on this are pretty high quality. I mean, it really makes it easier when they've made precise pieces that you can put together easily. And this is as far as I'm going to go with the cardboard backing. In the next video, we'll start to put the headers and the archways in. They have you put those in before the horizontal bricks. I'm not entirely sure the reason on that, and I'm going to have to do some thinking on that. But given this is my first kit of this style, I'm going to follow in order. Before I close off the roof, I am going to do something to paint the inside of this, because you're definitely going to see that. You're going to look in. You know, even when that's closed off, it's going to be darker in there, but if you really look, you're going to see the white cardboard. But I'll build up the walls first, and then I'll do something to finish up the interior. That's going to be all for this build. Thank you for watching.